How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. The ETFs are doing the unthinkable here today. Bitcoin's price is spiking up. We're well above $70,000 now, spiking all the way to 72,000, getting rejected at 72,000. I want to talk about what's happening. What's the news that's coming out today that is spiking such a huge rally in Bitcoin, up 7.25%, in Ethereum, up 20%. And, there are a lot of other altcoins as well. Pepe up 22%, Doge up 10%, Solana is up 10%, Uni up 23%. What is causing all of this excitement? We'll talk about it. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification. There's also a link to Margex underneath the video, and there are a couple links to Blowfin and CoinW. I've been talking about going long on crypto, how I thought it was a good idea, especially on the Bitcoin chart, when we were in this $60,000 range just a few days ago. It's crazy to think, but it was literally a week ago that Bitcoin was at $60,000. Let me get out of the 1 minute here. If we look here, it was not that long ago that we were at $60,000. We were right at the short-term holder cost basis, which acted as a nice little bounce there. And I said, hey, if you go 3 or 4x long, right? Let's say you go 4x long on Bitcoin at 60,000. We have up until 45,000 where you would have security, right? You wouldn't get liquidated. And as you can see here, we would have gone through this zone. We would have gone through this prior resistance. We had a lot of cushion. And that's exactly what I did. And now we're moving up nicely. So if you do want to trade, right, we could break out above this prior all-time high, maybe flip it back into support, right? If you do want to trade, you can use the links underneath the video. Now, a lot of people getting liquidated today, a lot of shorts being liquidated. This is why I don't like to short the best performing asset of all time, because oftentimes you get liquidated. 272 million. I covered this just a few hours ago, and it was at 70 million when I started the video, 100 million when I ended it. That was 4 hours ago. Now another 170 million being liquidated, which is causing us to spike up. That's what happens, right? Let's go down to the 1 minute here. If you see big moves like this, it's pretty obvious that's what's happening. Someone bought, caused some short liquidations, and it continues to go up in a faster and faster pace. Maybe what happened here too, but there's also some buying here today. There's definitely some buying. We can see that from the ETFs, which I'll show just in a second, but we're not quite to all-time highs for the US dollar, but when you compare it to a lot of other currencies, Bitcoin is hitting all-time highs. Remember, a lot of other currencies have it worse than the US dollar. A lot of them are inflating at faster rates. I mean, some are inflating 10% a month, which sounds crazy, but it's true. So yeah, a lot of people have started to see all-time highs in their own currency because it's been, what has it been, a month, 2 months since we were at 70,000? So yeah, it's definitely causing some people to pay attention now because it is hitting new highs, right? It's been a month since 70,000. Now, we also have some Ethereum news, which we'll cover here in a second, but look at these ETF flows. So only 450 Bitcoin are mined each day. Last week, we had over 1,000 bought every single day of the week. Some days up to 4,000 Bitcoin. But let's scroll down here. IBIT had a strong volume day, 1.25 billion. GBTC and FBTC right around $500 million. BTO, 250 million. Bitwise had a strong day, $24 million. GBTC has another inflow day. 4th consecutive positive day, $9 million. Okay, if there aren't going to be outflows coming from GBTC, there's probably not going to be outflows. That's a good indication that everyone is buying. BlackRock had a $65 million inflow day, and we have ARKB with a $68 million day, higher than IBIT. That's more than 2 days of supply just from ARKB. That would be if the miners sold everything, which some of the miners are holding. If they can hold, they're generally trying to hold now, because this is typically a good time for Bitcoin and the Bitcoin price. FBTC was 64 million. Okay, so we're at 231 million so far today. That is crazy. I mean, that's over 3,000. That's what, 3,200, something like that. 3,200 Bitcoin being bought here today, and there's still a few more ETFs coming in. So that is causing a lot of the rally. That's also what's causing a lot of the short liquidations. I mean, this is a big candle. So this is what is going to happen during the bull market. That's why I said, like, this could be a crazy week. This is why I've said the last couple weeks, even when we're down, hey, pay attention. You do not want to tune out now. This is not the end of the bull market. This is when you want to dial in, maybe build some positions, go long. Look at this reverse head and shoulders, right? You can see shoulder, head, shoulder, and then massive move. Okay, so we'll talk more about what's happening next with Bitcoin. And honestly, I say the ETFs did the unthinkable. And that's because a week ago, everyone was bearish, right? Like 1 week ago on Monday, we were at 60,000. Keep in mind, that's when we were at 60,000. And people were thinking, okay, we're just going to have a lower high, a lower low, a lower high. And then they thought we were going to have a lower low again, maybe hitting the low 50s. I had some people on my channel even last week, a pro trader that said, I think we could hit lower 50,000s. And then we moved up. So this was the unthinkable. Who could have thought that the ETFs would want to buy Bitcoin? And that's why I said, like last week, that on Wednesday, it was going to be really important because we're going to see a lot of 13F filings. We're probably going to see a lot of the holdouts that didn't want people to know that they're buying Bitcoin. They wanted to wait to the very last second, that we're going to see them buying Bitcoin. And we did see that. We saw half of the hedge funds out there. We saw a state pension go out there and buy Bitcoin. So yeah, this is the unthinkable to some people. How could we ever see inflows after we saw outflows? But keep in mind, the market takes a while to start buying assets like this, especially when you're talking about hedge funds, when you're talking about large money managers. So I think we have more of this in our future. Keep in mind, it could always turn bearish again. Just as quickly as we turned bullish, we could turn bearish. But everyone's very bullish right now. Okay, SEC tells exchanges to update their Ethereum ETF filings on an accelerated basis. This is coming from CoinDesk. Okay, so obviously if the SEC is going out of their way to tell exchanges to update their ETF filings, this is bullish. It seems kind of like a last minute thing, like, hey, change this around because we kind of want to approve it. But just when you think something's going to get approved in Bitcoin or in crypto, oftentimes, especially if it's SEC related, they kind of rug pull. So just be careful. If you have been waiting to buy Ethereum this whole time and you thought, I do not want to touch Ethereum, I do not want to touch Ethereum, I do not want to touch Ethereum, I don't always know if it's the best thing to do to go buy when we're up 20% in one day. Like I actually had this long that I put on a while ago, up 55%. Now it is a very small long. I'll be honest with you. It's a very small long. I have another long that's open on another platform for Ethereum, but I generally think it's better to buy these assets when no one wants them. Like recently, even the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation was down a lot. Solana versus Ethereum was up a lot. I even thought to myself today, this morning, last week, the week before that, maybe I should flip off Ethereum, either into Bitcoin or Solana. But I said, nope. That is when you don't want to sell. When you feel like you've held out and it just keeps on going down in value, just hold on a little bit longer. Now, maybe this is a time where you're like, hey, maybe I want to take a couple chips off the table. Maybe I do want to convert some of my Ethereum now. Okay, I get that a little bit because we have seen a big move. If this doesn't pan out, we're probably right back down, to be honest. Like, we're probably right back down to 3,000 or so, maybe 3,100, 3,200. But yeah, just be careful. Be careful whenever you buy an asset that's up 20% a day. You don't typically want to chase in cryptocurrency. Now, this is interesting. Okay, two interesting things. First of all, look at this line here. We broke this downtrend. So this downtrend put us right at about 71.3. I know some traders were looking at 71.4. We broke out above it. So that's good, first of all. Second of all, we are very close to all-time highs again. If we look from where we're at right now, we're about 3.4%. We were only 2.5% at our peak earlier when we were at 72. So yeah, I said this a few days ago, but it doesn't take long for us to get back to all-time highs. I think I said this literally yesterday or the day before, because we had a $6,000 candle recently on the daily. And today I said, hey, you got to be careful, be ready, because we could see another candle. Let me move over to Bitcoin. We could see another green candle like that, and we can be right back at all-time highs. This weekend I said, hey, I think the bottom's in. We bounced off the short-term holder cost basis, and I think we're going to see some more inflows next week. We're going to see some FOMO. And what do you know? We started this week today at the very top of last Wednesday? Something like that. So just even from Friday, we came down a little bit over the weekend, then big bump up, right? These solid ETF flow days where we see $3,000-$4,000 worth of Bitcoin bought, or 3,000 or 4,000 Bitcoin bought, this can lead $6,000 days. So we could be at new all-time highs literally tomorrow or the next day. Just be ready. Make sure that you have all your positions that you want. Whenever you feel like you need to get out of the market, typically a decent time to be buying. Whenever you're taking screenshots of however much money you've made or however much your crypto's worth, typically a good time to be taking some profit. So maybe if you did go long on this recent rally, maybe you want to take some profits if you're on some higher leverage. Right now, I'm on a lot of low leverage longs. I have a lot through 4 different platforms. 3 of them are right here, and then one other one that I had a little bit of money on. But yeah, I've put up a lot of low leverage longs that I'm gonna keep for a long time. Like, these are going to be positions I think I ride throughout a lot of the bull market. So if you want to do that, you can check out the links to Margex, Blowfin, CoinW. If you want to support a Bitcoin business, there is a link to Beck and Bulo, which makes some of the best meat, I think, in all of North America. Honestly, I love sausages, I love brats, I love hamburgers and steaks. This is some of the best stuff that I've had, and everyone that I brought to, literally, they said this is unbelievable. So if you use the code FINANCE15, you can get 15% off. And you can support a Bitcoin business. They literally save in Bitcoin. So check them out underneath. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next video.